63rd episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go for free feed subscribers every Wednesday in audio format on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast platforms, as well as in video format on YouTube, so you can see us in stunning HD, where we need you to hit subscribe and click that notification bell. We are now streaming live every Tuesday at 5:40 p.m. CST on twitch.tv/GameSpeak if you want to catch the show as it happens before anyone else. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. You can find us online at createforsanity.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter to never miss an episode and buy sick t-shirts from our shop. Also, be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, JAMAL Al-Jafra, alongside Brent, the all-ride passenger, Bass.
What's going on?
That was like the slowest, like we're doing like this live stream, so it took a second for you to like respond to what I said.
Yeah. So am I still not coming? Is there like a delay still?
No, you're fine now. It's all right. Okay. This is just part of the show now.
I hope it's like a big laggy response every time. I was like, that was going to be the weirdest podcast ever. It's just
yeah, that was really cool.
We're going to go to the field with Brent.
Yeah, it takes like 10 seconds before you like respond. Oh, thanks, Jamel. Yeah, I'm over here standing here with Jimmy Jiminson. No, but yeah, so
those like news things where they're like in Iraq and they're like, we're going to our correspondent in Iraq. And
yeah.
They're like, how is it out there? And he's like, it's pretty good, Steve. It's really bad.
It's pretty good. It's really bad. News. Yeah. But yeah, so what's been up, man, during this
quarantine life, just doing the thing. But apparently it's all coming to an end pretty soon.
Yeah.
Maybe not the quarantining and the social distancing and stuff, but I'm getting back to work pretty soon, which I don't know if that's scary or what, but it's kind of exciting because I'm going to get some money probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Coming up on the Texas executive order, the stay home, stay safe, shelter in place, whatever the fuck they called it, order is getting lifted, but only retail and restaurants and like dental offices and stuff can reopen, and only at 25% capacity. So even whenever you open
places to reopen, dog, this is just getting ridiculous. Are you seeing this right now?
I do. I see it. You're almost where I'm at, bro. No, mine's by choice. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, they said hair salons won't be till mid-May. So like phase 2. You're gonna be going back to work looking like a straight lion.
Like they're gonna make me like tie it back or something for work. You know what I mean?
Be like, if I tie it back and I sneeze, then COVID-19 could spread further. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, I finally got my stimulus check, bro.
Dude, did you get the jet ski? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, Uncle Sam came through and bought me a new jet ski, dude.
What'd you do with it? You saved it, right? Let me.
I saved most of it.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, though, I did buy myself a new monitor for my computer. It's nothing too fancy, you know.
It was only $1,200. No, just kidding.
No, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I spent about $250. You know what I mean?
That's not bad.
It's not bad, and monitors are actually pretty cheap. Like for what you get for $250, it's pretty sweet. Like it's like a 2K monitor. You know what I mean? Like 75 hertz. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I love when it hurts.
It hurts good, dude.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask, just things that we've done this week. Have you started watching the Pendleton Ward and Duncan Trussell animated show that came to Netflix called Midnight Gospel?
What? No, I haven't. But the whole first part of that sentence you said sounded like some ye old like British shit. Like,
oh no.
Pendleton Trust and
no,
what?
Duncan Trussell, the guy that's always on Joe Rogan, and then Pendleton Ward, the guy who made Adventure Time.
That sounds like a law firm, dude.
Well, anyways, so Duncan Trussell is like a comedian, but he's like super into like psychedelics and stuff. Like he's always on Joe Rogan. He has his own podcast called like the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and it's like just him talking to like, you know, people who are way out there. But anyway, so like this show is like about this guy who puts his head into like a VR simulation type thing at the beginning of every episode, and it's all animated by the guy who did Adventure Time. So it has like that really crazy, but this is like an adult rated show. It's not Adventure Time thing, you know. So like he puts his head in this thing, and he goes to like these different simulated Earths and interviews like somebody on that Earth, you know, and it's like they take like real interviews he's had with people on his podcast, and then they kind of like animate around it like as it's happening, and they're always talking about something like death or like life, and you know, he's like talking to the person. I was like, you know, like there's like he lands on this one planet in the second episode, and there's like this fruit, and he like picks it up and he takes a bite out of it, and like he looks over and the fruit starts like splitting, and like these little baby clowns pop out of it. It's like so trippy, and like he's like, oh my god, baby clowns or whatever, and then these deer dogs, they're like half deer half dog, like come up, and he's like, oh look, they see the, you know, the baby clowns, and then they just start like eating them, and he's like, oh my god, you know. And it's like and then he ends up like the humans on this alternative Earth or whatever come, and they start piling up the deer dogs to go and slaughter them to eat them or whatever. And it's like this whole thing on like, you know, the circle of life and like all this stuff. But like he ends up, what's up?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is all coming from a conversation he had with somebody on his podcast?
No, because there's no conversation at this point yet. The conversation begins whenever he like, he's like, he's kind of like in this pile of deer dogs, and he's like,
I was like, who is he talking to about deer dogs?
No, he's in this pile with deer dog. That whole thing is the Adventure Time guy like setting this up. But anyway, so like it gets to that point where he's like, hey, you know, because one of them he's like, you can talk, like the deer dog, and it's like, you know, it's got this chick's voice, apparently someone he interviewed on his show or whatever, and it's like, yeah, you know, and he's like, would you want to be on a Starcast? He's like, where I can, he's like, I just want to interview you, and I'll go out to the galaxy or to the universe. And she's like, yeah, sure. And, you know, they're like on the way to get like slaughtered. I mean, he's in a simulation, but, you know, to them it's like real or whatever. And so, you know, they get into this conversation about like death, you know, like, and how he's like, you're not afraid that, you know, like as like everything's getting grinded up into like ground meat and stuff. And she's like, you know, it came a time, like, and it just gets so real, dude. Like, you know, I don't talk much about this kind of stuff on the show because it's illegal, but, you know, like this is the closest thing you will ever get to an actual acid trip without doing acid. Like watching this show, like I had flashbacks. Like it was that ridiculous. Like the way the things are animated, the way the conversations are happening, and like all this stuff, it's just crazy, dude. Like watch this show. I 100% recommend this show.
The only reason I looked into it,
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I was just gonna say the only reason I haven't watched it already is because it kind of looked like, I don't know, for some reason I thought it was gonna be like Super Jail or something where it was just like ridiculous for no point. You know what I mean? Like
no,
you know, like
no, it's nothing like that. That's what I thought. I watched the trailer for it and I was like, this is gonna be like Rick and Morty ripoff or something, and it's nothing like that. Nothing in this show is cohesive enough, like in that type of way. Everything's like metaphorical and like just animated to this crazy like intensity that unless you've done a hallucinogen, you probably won't like it. Like it's that weird, but it gets deep. Like, you know, if you can, like, and I got on Reddit and was reading other people's experiences with the show, and a lot of people were like, by the end of the third episode, I was like crying. It was like that, like real of an experience, you know, like it's just crazy. So like, and it's good, dude. It's really good. So I recommend it to anybody, whether you've done a trip or not. You know, just watch it. It's really good. The conversations they have are good.
Well, the last thing he told me to watch was Lock and Key, and that ended up being like my obsession for a little while. So, which by the way, I think they got a season 2 renewed for that, so that's exciting.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's good. Yeah, I still have not watched the rest of that.
You really should read the comic. Honestly, it's better than the show, even though the show is good. Although the show is more cohesive than the comic book. You know what I mean? It's like easier to digest. You know?
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out at some point. I haven't been reading a lot or anything, so once I sit down to read something, that'll probably be the first thing that I check out. So
that's cool. The most exciting thing that happened to me this week was I found out I found the best snack maybe ever made. It's called Taco Bell Cheddar Crisps. Like, you can buy them at Walmart, and they're little like discs like this big around, and they're like made of cheese that's been like baked to be crispy, I guess, and then it's got like taco seasoning on it. It sounds terrible.
And it's Taco Bell brand?
It's Taco Bell brand. They're called Taco Bell Cheddar Crisps. They're fucking dank. They're like the great. If you ever see them on the shelf or something, gotta get you some. They're literally just cheese with taco seasoning. They're really good.
Muy tasty. No. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I can't wait till we're all back at work and stuff. That way we can actually have like new things to talk about. It's like, dude, highlight of the week, fucking Taco Bell taco crisps, dude.
I ordered some bugles on Amazon this week, dude. That's bad, bro.
I like that, dude. I like that. Anyway, so let's get into the news because there's quite a bit of news. That was fun, though. So just so you guys know, we're using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we do not claim any of the news articles as our own. We're simply bringing them to one place and giving our thoughts on the news. And I'll start it off with a pretty big piece of news here. Steve Watts at GameSpot says Sony has announced new release dates for two of its biggest PS4 blockbusters, both coming within the next few months. The Last of Us 2, which had been delayed indefinitely due to coronavirus, is now releasing on June 19th, and Ghost of Tsushima, the next game from Sucker Punch, will follow on July 17th, about a month later than previously anticipated. A note on the PlayStation blog from Worldwide Studios head Herman Hulst says these dates are possible due to, quote, an ease in the global distribution environment. I want to personally congratulate and thank both the teams at Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch Productions on their achievements. As we know, it's not an easy feat to reach the finish line under these circumstances, Holst wrote. Both teams have worked hard to deliver world-class experiences, and we can't wait to see what you think of them when they released in just a few months, end quote. The Last of Us 2 has been delayed, or what had been delayed earlier this month with no new release date set at the time. That delay cited logistical challenges due to the global pandemic despite nearing completion, which pushed the game from its May 29th release date. The new date means it will ultimately only be delayed by a few weeks. Ghost of Tsushima has previously been set for a June release date back in March. While it hadn't been delayed indefinitely alongside The Last of Us 2, its release date was in doubt due to the same factors. This effectively gives The Last of Us 2 its June slot and bumps Tsushima back a month. Meanwhile, plot details for The Last of Us 2 have leaked online, and Naughty Dog has issued a statement urging fans to avoid spoilers and refrain from spreading them. Not long after Monday's announcement, Naughty Dog confirmed in a statement portions of The Last of Us 2 or Last of Us Part 2 leaked online. According to video game site Polygon, videos posted online purportedly show the full game. Quote, "It's disappointing to see the release and sharing of pre-release footage from development," said the studio in a statement on Twitter. "Do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others." Quote, "Heartbroken for the team, heartbroken for our fans," said Neil Druckmann, vice president of Naughty Dog, in a post on Twitter addressing the leaks of the sequel. "We're still incredibly excited to get the game into your hands." Now, there's a lot of controversy about this right now.
Yeah. lot of things to talk about here in this article for sure.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get it out of the way. It's a long article there, but it was necessary. So they're saying part of this controversy is that the videos released or like leaked online were from a disgruntled ex-worker who leaked the entire game basically, and all of this. What is that?
Naughty Dog said that?
This is what the news outlets are reporting. They're saying that it was from a leaked, or it was leaked by an ex-employee who was disgruntled with the crunch time and not getting paid. Apparently, they were not paid for their work, is what they're saying.
I find that hard to believe. Naughty Dog just didn't pay somebody. Like, I don't know. Like,
I find that hard to believe too, and not like only that.
Paid overtime or something, you know what I mean? But like, I just doubt they didn't get paid. You know what I mean? That seems so far fetched, you know?
Yeah, and not only that, it's the fact that even if that was the case, this doesn't just hurt the management at Naughty Dog. This hurts all the people that have been working on, you know, The Last of Us 2 for such a long time. You know, even the people that were affected by the crunch and all that stuff, it you know, it kind of hurts them too, because they had to go through that crunch period, put all this work into it, and then they still don't, and they don't even get the fulfillment of having the game released, you know, the way it was meant to.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but, you know, I feel like it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely, it sucks for the developers, you know, who put all that work into it. But at the same time, you know, the game will still come out, and the majority of people will play the game the way it's meant to be played and enjoy it the way it's meant to be enjoyed. And for the most part, I don't think it'll impact sales or anything. You know, like everybody, I don't know. I know that there's some controversy about the fucking story and stuff, but I feel like the people who are, you know, first of all, already looking up spoilers and finding out everything, you know what I mean?
Weren't planning on playing it, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't planning on enjoying the game the way it was meant to be enjoyed anyways, you know what I mean? And, you know, the people that are, like, upset about, like, the campaign and stuff, it's like, well, first of all, you're not even really looking at a finished product, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's out of context, technically.
Yeah, exactly. A lot can change in a couple of months, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Naughty Dog deals with the disgruntled employee, too, if we ever find out more about that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I saw on a tweet, there's like this guy who's like he's a pretty well-known lawyer in the, you know, on the gaming part of Twitter, and he was like saying how at this point, because somebody was like, what can Naughty Dog do about the leaker or whatever, and he was basically saying at this point they can basically do whatever they want to this guy, like, because this is breach of, like, you know, contracts and stuff like that. So basically that guy is at the mercy of Naughty Dog whenever it comes to legal issues. You know, they're probably going to sue the shit out of this dude, you know.
My question, do they even know, like, the specific person? Probably.
I think they do, because they haven't said anything about it. I'm pretty sure they know who it was.
Well, the silver lining, I guess, in all of this is the beginning of the article. What, you know, like, it's not even the game itself isn't even getting pushed back that far. You know?
No.
2 weeks or something like that. That's pretty good. You
but
know what I mean?
That might just be because they're trying to get out ahead of the leaks. They might have been meant to be a little bit later. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're probably trying to save as much of it as they can before the leaks, you know, kind of destroy everybody's view on the game before it's even out.
I guess, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Most people are going to be able to avoid it. You know what I mean? At least I think so. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the longer it takes for the game to come out, the more people are going to see the spoilers, you know? That's why I think that they're trying to get ahead of this, because as soon as the game leaked, like, it was like less than a couple days later, they were like, hey guys, it's coming out. And like, they had their statement with it.
True, but I think that's more. I really think because Sucker Punch did the same thing with Ghost of Tsushima on like the exact same day. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
some probably had some kind of like meeting with their distribution, and then they like told all the people, okay, you can ship at this point in time, and I think because Last of Us was pretty much gold, right? Like they were ready to go, like
Yeah.
last week. Like, so I think that they probably were just waiting for the green light to ship anyways. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I don't know.
I agree. I think it could be one, or it could be one or the other. That's really the tough thing to say, is because people are already questioning why the game was getting delayed in the first place.
Yeah.
But like, I think at this point, it could either be just because they were like, hey, distribution's gonna work out, or it was like, fuck it, guys, we got to put this out.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is going to have a huge impact on the game. Now, I personally think so. I don't know if it'll have a huge impact on sales, but I think it'll have a huge impact on the way the game is perceived. Whenever whatever that means. But I mean, in the eyes of the consumer, not technically critics or anything like that. But you have a lot of loudmouth haters on the internet. So like I'm not going to go into any of the story stuff, but there is a huge problem with the story, not in my opinion, but according to a lot of people, including like big name people, like in the gaming scene, like Twitch streamers and stuff like that, who happen to see it and stuff. So I want to know what that means, but I guess we'll see.
I almost want to play the game more just to like find out what all this shit is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they say like a lot of people are saying it's like a stab in the back to all the fans. So
really?
yes, like
They're
saying
I'm not that big of a fan to where I'm like gonna just be, my world is just gonna be crushed if it's like, but I did like the first game a lot.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I don't know.
Anyways, what you got?
Oh man, okay, nothing that good. Let's see. Okay, the Cyberpunk 2077 rating has leaked.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
So this, and I just want to run through this. It's got a list of all the stuff that's bad about it. So
yeah, why it's like, rated M.
Yeah, if it was like the M and then the list of like bad things, here we go. So. Weapons without violence, moderate or hinted use of illicit drugs, weapons with violence, criminal action without violence. Sorry, my cat is like freaking.
Weapons with violence.
Criminal action without violence. Description of consuming illicit drugs, derogatory language, verbal aggression, violent acts, sexual pleasurement, consuming of illicit drugs.
It's a weird term for that. Sexual pleasurement?
Yeah, I know, right? It must be somebody like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Violence, description, exposure to danger, exposure to death corpse, whatever the fuck that means.
Also, this was translated from like Taiwanese or something like that. Like, that's why it's weird.
I was wondering why they were being so like weird about it. Let's see.
Sorry if Taiwanese isn't a language. I don't know what I'm saying, but
it's enough of a language. Exposure to death corpse, bodily injury, foul language, sexual language, blood.
He's like penis.
Description of illicit drug consumption or trafficking, sexualization, description of illicit drug consumption or trafficking, sexualization. They said that twice for some reason. Sexual exploration.
Oh, okay. I like that.
No, I'm sorry, exploitation.
Oh, okay. I was like, exploration.
I was like, why are they? That's weird.
Yeah.
That's specific.
Sexual enjoyment, sexual pleasurement, sexual drive,
prostitution. There's a lot.
Nudity, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm expecting some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like along with that post or whatever, like whenever it got leaked, it said something about like, hold on, let me see, Reddit post before it could be taken down. The summary warns blah 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 blah. I want to see. Oh, right here it says confirming that the image for their studio designer Paul Sasko tweeted a screenshot of the leak of all the things you just read off, saying, "You surprised? Question mark. We don't fuck around." Yeah. Oh, and it was it was translated from Portuguese.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I was gonna say, I think the stuff that I just read is only a fraction of the stuff that was listed too. It looks like there's like a little arrow that I can't click on that's like in the tweet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's basically it's like Grand Theft Auto, but like a little bit worse.
Way worse. It's gonna be really fucked up, man.
We don't fuck around. Anyway, so by way of Kevin Knezovic at GameSpot, Pokemon Go's remote raid passes have arrived. The new feature is now available to all players who are at least trainer level 5. And as their name suggests, they allow you to join a raid remotely, so you don't need to physically travel to a gym to participate in the battle. If you have a remote raid pass... What's up?
I said you still have to be like semi-close to it. You know what I mean? It has to be on your like nearby radar. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So, like, you don't have to, like, see it or be, like, right next to it, but, like, it has to be close enough to pop up on your nearby, if you ever played Pokemon. You know what I mean?
That's kind of whack.
That's what I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's like you still, like, if you live out in the boondocks, you're just fucked, you know?
Yeah. Well, it says you can receive 3 remote raid passes through a special 1 Pokecoin bundle from the in-game shop. Niantic is also selling additional remote raid passes at a limited time price at 100 Pokecoins. As helpful as the new raid passes are, they come with a couple of caveats. First, while up to 20 players will be able to join the same raid, only a limited number will be able to do so using remote raid passes. On top of that, while players who join raids via remote raid passes will initially have the same attack power as those physically present at the gym, Niantic says remote players' attack power will eventually be reduced. So they're
going to leave it in the game permanently, I guess.
Yeah, this is just like the beginning of it. They're going to leave it in there, but whenever you use a remote pass, right now you get the same attack power as somebody who's actually there, but in the future they plan on reducing that attack power, which I find really weird. It's like if you're paying for this thing, it should, it's like, why not just make it the same?
Yeah, for real. I feel like it would only really matter if you were like, I don't know, if you like lived right next to a gym that did raids all the time or something. You know what I mean? Not like right next, but like at least close enough to pop up.
For sure.
Anyway, I won't read the whole article here, but Bethesda is donating $1 million and they're dividing it up to multiple charities. 500,000 is going to Direct Relief. 250,000 is going to UNICEF, and another 250,000 is going to local charities around Bethesda's various studios. So that's pretty cool. I just thought that was pretty swell on Bethesda's part. You know what I mean?
Good on them.
Good on them.
That good old tax write-off. No, Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot says, Deadly Premonition 2, the sequel to the cult classic murder mystery directed by Hidetaka Suihiro, is heading exclusively to Nintendo Switch this summer. The sequel will launch digitally on July 10th and cost $50 on the eShop. A new trailer for the sequel, which was initially revealed in September 2019, accompanied the release date announcement. If you're unfamiliar, Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, acts as both a prequel and sequel to the original story. You'll hop between both Boston in the present day and Le Carre, Louisiana in the past, alternating between the current investigation headed up by Special Agents Davis and Jones, while also revisiting the memories of Special Agent Francis York Morgan in the past. So it's just a release date. It's coming July 10th. So, yeah.
So wait, is this a remake of an old game?
No. So,
is this a
sorry, guys who are listening at home. So are you asking, Brent, is this a remake of an old game?
Yeah.
No, this is a sequel / prequel to an old game. Deadly Premonition, I believe, came out on the PS2 or in the PS2 era.
Right, I remember Deadly Premonition, and I remember it was pretty well received and stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't really remember much about it other than that. You know, I'm getting it mixed up with Fatal Frame. You know?
Yeah, it's not Fatal Frame. It's more of a comedy than anything.
Oh,
yeah,
it's not a horror thing.
It's a mix between horror and just wacky stuff. You know, it's not a horror game.
Okay, weird.
Yeah. Yeah, just Google that one. Google that. Anyways, what you got?
Okay, so if you've been winning a lot on PUBG recently on Xbox or PS4, don't get too excited. It's probably because they have added bots on console.
Don't get too excited. You still suck.
You still suck, yeah. I can do another one if you want. That was kind of a short one.
Sure.
Let's see. Cheaters can ruin any game online, and Infinity Ward is taking drastic steps to reduce their influence. And Call of Duty War, the solution is make the cheaters play against each other so they can all be miserable.
You skipping way too much. Try switching to your Wi-Fi, bro.
Okay.
Sorry guys, we're having some connection issues between us. So hopefully by next week we'll be doing live again. It'll be me and Brent in the same room. But until then, bear with us, please.
Yeah. Is this better, Jamal?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll just start the whole article over, okay? Cheaters can ruin any online game, and Infinity Ward is taking drastic steps to reduce their influence in Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Warzone. The solution is simple. Make the cheaters play against each other so they can all be miserable. Beginning now, Modern Warfare and Warzone players who report potential cheaters will receive an in-game notification to let them know the offending player was banned. Additionally, Infinity Ward has released additional dedicated security updates to both games, while matchmaking has been updated to place suspected cheaters into matches with one another. Finally, Infinity Ward is deploying more resources to its enforcement teams, among others, to help rid the game of cheaters.
Yeah, so there's a lot of PC cheaters, lots of banning going on.
That would suck to be a suspected cheater and just be popped in a lobby with a bunch of cheaters, you know what I mean? If you weren't really cheating, you know what I mean?
That would suck. I saw there was a petition going around online. I saw on gamerrant.com or whatever that somebody made to make PC unable to have crossplay with the consoles just because all the cheaters are there.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that would be a quick and easy way to solve cheating console. The cheaters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let me so you're still kind of losing connection, Brent. You might want to try and move to a different spot, or move your phone to a different spot or something. It's just every 10 seconds you just start skipping or going slow motion. Slow motion.
Let me put you up higher in the air. Maybe if you're up higher, we'll have a better.
Yeah, that might help. Let's see.
Is that better?
I don't know right now. I guess it takes a second, but We'll see. We'll figure it out. Jeremy Winslow at GameSpot says an update is coming to Call of Duty Modern Warfare this week on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and will give players more freedom within the gunsmith. Now you will be able to mix and match your blueprints. Developer Infinity Ward revealed in a recent Call of Duty update post that Gunsmith Customs will let you create personalized weapons for Modern Warfare by combining different attachments from blueprints of the same weapon type. The end result will be weapons that have, quote, unique looks, styles, and capabilities, end quote. End quote. The studio said more information on Gunsmith Customs will come out sometime this week. There's more coming to Modern Warfare and Warzone this week as well, in addition to Gunsmith Customs. Infinity Ward unveiled a double XP event and multiplayer playlist update, new contract type for the Warzone that comes with a massive payoff for your entire squad, and more. In Call of Duty news, in other Call of Duty news, a new patch is slated to hit Modern Warfare and Warzone on Tuesday, April 28th. So by the time you guys hear this update will have already happened. Infinity Ward hasn't revealed the full patch notes, but the preview notes confirm that Warzone's gas circle has been adjusted and various bugs have been addressed and more. So the update will be split in two this time around. A new type of contract is set to go live, and I'm gonna kind of go into what this patch brings in. So like the new type of contract that's set to go live is basically it's once it's activated, you're tasked with becoming a bounty target and surviving for a set period of time before you get, quote, the ultimate reward, which is of redeploying your entire team. So like basically it's like the opposite of picking up a bounty contract. So you pick it up and suddenly there's a bounty on your head. But if you survive, you get to redeploy all of your teammates that have died, which is dope because I feel like this is going to be a game changer, especially mid to late game. You know, like if you've lost your homies, and instead of paying to bring them back, you know, you can just get this contract, survive, and then they all come back at once. And then also they're changing up the gas in the circle. So the circle is going to start out smaller in the beginning, and the gas is going to move slower.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
About which part?
About all of it. I feel like the reviving the team thing is kind of like OP as fuck, you know, but that's cool because I'll use it to my advantage, you know what I mean? And then the circle thing, I actually kind of like the smaller circle at the beginning because I feel like it's so big. It's basically just like land wherever you want on the map and you're good at the beginning. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
As well as the gas moves way too quick at the moment. It's like if you get caught in the gas, you're screwed.
Yeah. Oh my god. If you don't have a gas mask, it's over. You know
even sometimes with the gas mask, like you can't outrun the gas, like unless you're in a vehicle, which is really obnoxious. You know, like you should be able to at least like keep healing yourself or something. You know, like you can in Fortnite, but
it does encourage you to use the vehicles, though, you know what I mean? Which I think, you know, some people want to, like, avoid vehicles because they want to be sneaky or whatever, but I feel like it really encourages vehicle play, you know what I mean?
True. I'm excited to see how this update works, though. I didn't notice any changes whenever I played earlier on solo, so I don't know. It's supposed to come out today. I just don't know what time.
Interesting. I can't wait to check it out. Alright. Let's see. We talked about the raid passes. We're all stuck at home due to the ongoing coronavirus crisis. But not all of us have access to video game consoles to keep us entertained. For some lucky Japanese youths, however, that might change soon. The Japan Retro Game Association is giving away 100 Super Nintendos to children under the age of 16. According to JARGA, a non-profit dedicated to the preservation of Japanese video game history, participants must be able to pay the shipping costs, and they must not already own a Super Nintendo. The package will include the console, an adapter, one controller, and a copy of Final Fantasy VI and Donkey Kong Country. Applications close on April 27th. So
they're Super Famicoms, right? Not Super Nintendos.
yeah, Famicom. That's just the Japanese version, pretty much, though.
Yeah. How are they gonna know if you already have one or not? Are they gonna fucking show up in your house and like search it?
They're like, sorry, our sources have shown that you have one already.
Yeah. What the hell? Anyways, that's pretty cool. That's cool of them for 100 people.
Making them pay the shipping costs, though.
Yeah.
But they are on Donkey Kong Country with it, so that's a bad.
And Final Fantasy. That's a good long one. So Stephen Wright at GameSpot says the Battle Royale phenomenon Fortnite might boast impressive player counts every day, but Epic's special timed events continue to pull in record numbers. The company announced that Fortnite's latest event, a psychedelic in-game concert by popular rapper Travis Scott, pulled in more than 27.7 million unique players who participated 45.8 million times across 5 showings. Prior to the concert, players could see an under-construction stage at the Sweaty Sands Beach, which eventually led to inflatable gold heads of Travis Scott floating over the water. The concert itself was an interactive experience with players being submerged underwater and being given the power of flight at different points during the performance. On April 26th, Epic announced that 12.3 million players participated simultaneously in the Travis Scott concert. For comparison's sake, the current all-time concurrent peak for Steam's most popular game, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, is only 1.3 million. Previous Fortnite events have drawn a similar amount of attention, particularly its The End event from October 2019, where a black hole swallowed the game entirely before a new map emerged days later. Did you watch any of the gameplay from the concert?
No, I didn't see any of it at all.
It's really cool. Like,
really?
I didn't watch it personally, but I watched like some streamers who were playing it or like watching it, and it was really cool. Like, there's like this giant like portal thing, and like the music starts playing. And it's like Drake is like, rapping, like, I forget what the song is, but like Drake's going, and all of a sudden, like Travis Scott is like a giant, like I'm talking like he's like, I'd say like 12 stories high, and he just like lands and like fucking, when his feet hit the ground, everybody flies off like an explosion just happened, and like they're just flying back as the music starts like fucking thumping, and then like and he's just like dancing and all this shit, and everybody's like, oh. It's fucking crazy, dude. It was pretty cool.
I don't know, man. If there's one thing I can say about Fortnite, man, they go all out with those fucking things. You know what I mean? Like, all the little events they do are just crazy. Like, the Star Wars one they did was pretty fucking intense, too, dude. They, like, showed a whole trailer for Star Wars and gave everybody, like, gliders and fought stormtroopers and shit. It was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Gearbox's World War II series, Brothers in Arms, is being adapted for TV. The television series will be based on true events, and the first season will dramatize a World War II scandal that was kept classified for 40 years. Scott Rosenbaum will serve as a showrunner on the series. He's previously served as executive producer and showrunner on Queen of the South, which is a pretty good show. My girlfriend's really into that. As well as showrunner on V and Gang Related. He was also a writer on Chuck and The Shield. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford is also producing and helping develop the script. John Julian Baronet, Assassin's Creed, or that's what she worked on. Richard Whalen, Band of Brothers Pacific, and Sean Heron, Gearbox Chief Business Officer, are also attached. The show has not landed on a network yet, but it sounds pretty promising. So
that's pretty interesting. Yeah, like that's an IP that hasn't been touched in a long time. So I mean, and I think it'd probably be the perfect IP to turn into a show.
Absolutely. Although from what I'm reading here, it doesn't seem like the story they have planned out has anything to do with the aforementioned games other than the title. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
in this.
I mean, it would be interesting if they had like characters from the game involved, but I guess like that's not the case. But who knows? I mean, at this point, they don't even have a network.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if that even happens.
Yeah. About that one.
So Eddie McCooch at GameSpot says one of the newly established Xbox development studios, The Initiative, continues to hire big-name talent for its first project. The Southern California studio has hired Sylvia Chambers, who worked on Uncharted 4 and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy at Naughty Dog and Battlefield 5 with DICE, to become an animator at the company. Chambers' LinkedIn page states that she is working at The Initiative on a contract basis, having started in April 2020. In addition to working in games, Chambers worked as a shot creator for Marvel's Thor Ragnarok at the pre-visualization studio, The Third Floor. The Initiative was announced at E3 2018 as part of Microsoft's wider announcement of new studios and acquisitions. The company, which is based in Santa Monica, says its ambition is, quote, about craft, creating story, innovating, and looking ahead to the next big thing, end quote. While the company is owned by Microsoft, it claims to operate independently. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting talent going their way. I like that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they're working on over there.
I'm so curious, you know. I'd love to just be a fly on the wall in the fucking, like, room. They're just thinking up their next idea.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's some really good news for all my Xbox Game Pass peoples out there. We've got Red Dead Redemption 2 coming on May the 7th. Honestly, one of the best games maybe ever made. I mean, it is so freaking good. And, like, the graphics are amazing. It's just an incredible game all around. So, you know, that's something to be excited about if you've got Game Pass. Unfortunately, it's not coming to Game Pass for PC. But, you know, what can you do?
And also, with it coming to Game Pass, GTA 5 will be leaving Game Pass.
Yes. When one door opens, another one closes. But that's okay. If you want, you can get GTA 5 on sale through Game Pass right now for like, although it goes on sale so frequently, like on, you know, you might as well just wait until like a real sale comes around, because you could snag it for like $15 to $20 if you just wait. You know what I mean?
It's fairly cheap. Anyways, Brent, you keep going. I'm out of news.
Okay, let's see. I only have a few more. Apparently, there is a bug in Fallout 76 where the new Wastelanders NPCs will loot your corpse when you die and permanently steal your weapons from you. So be careful, because you don't want your shit stolen by NPCs. Although, other than that, I've heard really good things about the new thing, although I haven't had a chance to try it yet.
So just so you're aware, in the chat, Devin Andreas says, game is great, Brent. Best game ever made. So I guess he's talking about Red Dead.
Oh, dude. No, okay, hold up. If we're talking Red Dead, it literally is one of the best games ever made. If we're talking, like, I'm talking top 3 best games ever made, it's like Red Dead 2, God of War, 2018, and like some other game I'm not thinking of right now. But like
there's some other game out there.
Like it's that good, you know what I mean?
No, I trust it. I just thought it was funny the way they wrote that. Anyways,
hey, and like it is, you know what I mean? So be ready. If you haven't played it yet, it's gonna blow your shit back, dude. Okay, let's see. Okay. Xbox Series X, they filed like a logo trademark. You gotta look this up online. Apparently it's gonna be on like stress balls and t-shirts and stuff. Yeah, there's an X and a series, you know what I mean? So check that out. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Let's see. Michael Mando, the guy who played Vaz in Far Cry 3, did an AMA on Reddit the other day and hinted that he may reprise the role at some point. And for Far Cry 3, or for not Far Cry 3, but for Vaz, the character Vaz.
I know, but I mean, like, for what though? Like, I want to know how. How's he gonna reprise the role?
That's what I was thinking. Is it maybe it's like a remake of Far Cry 3?
Yeah, didn't he die? Like, spoilers, but I'm pretty sure he died.
What if it's a prequel?
That would be cool. Like, what if it's just like you becoming Vaz or whatever? Like,
what if it's like Far Cry, like I don't know, 6, but it's basically just Far Cry 3, 2. You know what I mean? Except instead of Far Cry 3, 2, or maybe like Far Cry 2.5. You know what I mean? Where it's like before 3, but like just before 3. You know what I mean? Like you're another group of people that come to the island.
that would be really dumb. I think like you should have to play as him.
I think it would be less dumb to just remake 3. I really think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do a remaster of 3 and have all the original voice actors reprise their role and stuff. I think it's going to be dope. But I don't know if that's really going to happen.
Yeah, we're all speculating right now. Oh, and Devin Andreas says he totally agrees. Brent just says it a lot. LOL.
Oh, yeah, I do say that. I get excited.
Anyways.
Okay, one last thing. If you have an RTX graphics card and you like to do things with a microphone, you're in luck. Apparently there's a new thing. It's like a plug-in that you can use, and it like suppresses or uses AI somehow and reads your voice and like makes it to where your voice is the only thing coming through the microphone. Like I saw this sample video and this guy had like this big like industrial fan and he's like blowing it at his face and the microphone's right here. And he's like blowing it at his face with the microphone. He's like slamming a hammer on everything, you know what I mean? And he's like, this is the audio without, you know? And like he hits this button and like all of a sudden like all the fan and the hammer and all that just goes away. And like all you can hear is like him and you still see his hair blowing around and shit, you know what I mean? It was really, really cool. It just look up like RTX AI voice thing. I don't know. If you just YouTube that, it'll pop up. And it's fucking really, really cool technology.
That is really cool. That's gonna be that's gonna change the game for like producers and stuff.
Absolutely. And you know how we were talking about the PlayStation having the microphone on the controller the other day? I mean, we're talking about the same kind of like, you know, power.
Oh yeah.
Computers and shit. Maybe they'll have a similar technology.
Probably
you know
not. I mean? Probably not. But that would be really cool. Let's not get carried away. No. You think PlayStation is going to put that like that expensive ass technology in their controllers? They're already trying to sell the PlayStation for like $600.
It's in the graphics card.
Yeah.
You know, and like, and they've already got the same like kind of fucking power to do like ray tracing and stuff. It's the cards that are going to be in these new consoles are going to be like twice as powerful as my current fucking card in my computer, and I could do this like audio thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that'd be cool then.
It's just a thought, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I got for news.
All right. Well then, let's jump on over to this week's releases, where I'm going to let you guys know which brand new games you'll be able to grab in the next 7 days, starting with Dreadnautical, coming to Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and PC on April 29th for $19.99. A tactical turn-based RPG with roguelike elements, Dreadnautical combines immersive gameplay with a cartoonish yet captivatingly eerie tone. Welcome aboard a cruise liner called the Hope. Supernatural forces have overwhelmed the ship with mysterious, malevolent monstrosities, and you'll need to seek other survivors, track down food and other resources, and manage your safe haven for any hope of escaping this vacation alive. And then we got Lumberjack's Dynasty coming to PC on April 30th. Couldn't find a price, but Lumberjack's Dynasty puts the player in charge of a family farmstead that needs restoration along with a complete rebuilding of the family logging business. And then we have Guard Duty coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and Vita on April 30th for $9.99. Guard Duty is a comedy adventure that spans two radically different time periods, the cobbled streets of medieval Wrinklewood and the future dystopia of Neo-London, replete with cheeky humor, stylized cartoon pixel art, and a story that blurs the lines between fantasy and sci-fi. And then we have Wrinklewood. That's pretty sure they're talking about a Pangus. And then we got Strikers 1945 coming to PC on April 30th for $7.99. Now now's you chance to strut your stuff in the skies as you take on the German and Japanese air forces in Strikers 1945. Choose from 6 World War II airplanes and blast away at the wide variety of enemies you'll find in 8 stages of action. Luckily, there are 3 different attacks to choose from. The standard guns or missiles attacks that is unlimited and becomes stronger as you collect power-ups. Smart bombs that will destroy every enemy on the screen and are limited in number. And 3 power meters that govern special attacks. Okay, and then we have Level Head.
Soccer game.
What?
I thought it was going to be a soccer game. After Super Mario Strikers, anything with the name Strikers, just like, I assume it's going to be a soccer related for some reason.
World War II soccer. Then we have Levelhead coming to Switch, Xbox One, PC, and mobile on April 30th for $19.99. Levelhead is a creative platformer for 1 to 4 players. Run, jump, and warp up the Levelhead Division corporate ladder in the single-player campaign. Research new elements for your very own level-building workshop, then build and publish levels for the rest of the world to play. And then we have Road to Guangdong coming to Xbox One on April 30th for $14.99. Road to Guangdong is an exciting new road trip adventure. Join Sunny and Guma on the journey of a lifetime as they travel across China in their aging but beloved family car. Can they maintain their beloved car and overcome their personal history to save the family restaurant? Take care of your tires, fuel consumption, and engine condition as you navigate the beautiful province of Guangdong. And then we have Streets of Rage 4 coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, and PC on April 30th for $24.99. Axel and Blaze return in Streets of Rage 4, the revival of the classic beat-em-up series, featuring hand-drawn visuals and brutal action. Streets of Rage 4 builds upon the classic trilogy's gameplay with new mechanics, a fresh story, and a gauntlet of dangerous stages with a serious crime problem. We have Destiny Sword coming to PC April 30th. Couldn't find a price, but Destiny Sword is a squad-based combat strategy MMORPG that combines exciting cinematic combat with unique social game mechanics for managing the physical and mental well-being of your team, as their commander is an ongoing PvP faction war. What? Okay. You get it. It's a game.
Yeah, it's too simple.
Random Heroes is coming to Xbox One and PC on April 30th for $4.99. The Earth is being invaded by terrifying aliens. It's up to you and a bunch of random heroes to save the day and stop the invasion. Shoot and jump your way through over 108 levels to stop the alien menace and bring peace to the planet. And then we have Ministry of Broadcast coming to Switch on April 30th for $14.99. A country divided by the wall. To cross it and reach your family, you must compete on and win a reality TV show broadcast by the regime, rife with dark humor, sarcastic quips, and a general absurdity of the system. Seemingly built overnight, the wall has divided both a country in two and a man from his family. To see them again, our ginger-haired protagonist has decided to become a contestant on The Wall Show, a regime-organized TV show allowing competitors the opportunity to escape to freedom on the other side. However, as he progresses through the camp, our contestant soon realizes exactly how the regime and the show operate. And then we have Stranded Deep coming to PS4, Xbox One, April 30th for $19.99. Take the role of a plane crash survivor stranded somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Come face to face with some of the most life-threatening scenarios that will result in a different experience each time you play. Scavenge, discover, survive. And then we have Tamarin coming to PS4 and PC on April 30th for $29.99. Insects are taking over! With agile and acrobatic moves, Tamarin leaps through the atmospheric northern forest, searching for his captured animal friends. Okay, and then we have Code Realize, Future Blessings, coming to Switch on April 30th for $39.99. The romance is continue. Experience new scenarios taking place after the main story, as well as more in-depth looks at the events that happened in the shadows of Cardia's previous adventures. And then we have Arcade Spirits coming to PS4, Switch, Xbox One, May 1st for $19.99. Set in 20XX, Arcade Spirits follows an alternate timeline where the 1983 video game crash never occurred. After a turbulent work history, you are granted employment at the Funplex, a popular arcade home to a host of unique personalities and customers. Where will this newfound employment take you? Who will you meet along the way? Will you find the romance you're seeking? Everything you choose in Arcade Spirits, from your relationships to your personality, your crisis management moments, and myriad other decisions, will have an effect on the future of your arcade. And then we have Title Shock, coming May 4th to PC. Couldn't find a price. Set deep underwater, Title Shock is fast-paced, easy to pick up, hard to master. That's right, the Title Shock arena is submerged and not confined to gravity. Bullets will rain down, snipers will lurk below, and attacks can come from any angle. And then we have Trackmania 2020 coming to PC May 5th, couldn't find a price. Trackmania returns in this revival of the high-speed, high-flying racing franchise. Welcome to the club. And then we have Shop Titans coming to PC on May 5th, couldn't find a price. Design and build a thriving shop in this tycoon simulation adventure. Outfit your heroes and champions with epic gear and send them on quests to defeat powerful bosses. Players can assemble to create a bustling city through the game's synchronous cross-platform play feature. Whether at home or on the go, Shop Titans players can craft, negotiate, and sell their way to the top. And then finally, we have John Wick Hex coming to PS4 on May 5th for $19.99. John Wick Hex is a fast-paced, action-oriented strategy game that makes you think and strike like professional hitman John Wick. Choose every action and attack you make while considering their immediate cost and consequences. Created in close cooperation with the creative and stunt teams behind the films, John Wick Hex is a fight choreographed chess brought to life as a video game, capturing the series' signature gun fu style while expanding its story universe. So yeah, there you go. That's all the games coming out in the next 7 days.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So, now that we're done with that that little segment there, we're gonna jump on over to currently playing. Brent, what you been playing?
Okay, so I've been playing a whole lot of that right now. So fucking, I'm gonna put you back up here actually because you were doing better up here. Sorry, I just feel like it's a bad angle. That's okay. I've got. Oh, wow, it was working so good.
Welcome to Game Speak Podcast.
Sorry, hopefully next week it'll be better. Okay, no. So I've been playing a whole lot of shit, Jamal. So I'm just gonna lay it on you, okay? I'll start with the least interesting thing I've been playing, which is Ori and the Will of Wisps. Not saying that it's a bad game though. It's actually kind of surprisingly good. Like I thought it would just kind of be like a basic platformer, like Limbo or something. You know what I mean? But it's kind of deep. Like you get like power ups and weapons, and like it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's like Limbo and Turbo or Guacamelee Turbo Championship Edition, and like Hollow Knight mixed together. I don't know. It's really really cool. But I'm not very far into it at all, and I probably am not going to play the rest of it, to be honest with you. So, but it's still pretty good. And I'm still playing Persona 5 Royal. You know what I mean? Just kind of taking my time with that one. It's kind of my game whenever I don't want to play something that's like too intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what?
I said yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know. But then I got Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I heard there was a VR version of this if you get it on Steam. You know what I mean? So I was like, what the hell? You know, I found a version of it that's like $9 and I picked it up. And I gotta say, the VR version is really, really good. Like really good. Like, yeah, I tried to play the normal version several times, and I just couldn't get into it at all. You know what I mean? But, like, I sat through the whole VR one. Like, it was really immersive and cool. And, like, I don't know, I played a lot of games that, like, try to do the VR thing, and it doesn't really work out that well. like I feel like Skyrim didn't translate as well as I wanted it to VR. Fallout 4 didn't translate as well as I wanted it to VR. Borderlands 2 didn't translate as well as I wanted it to VR. And I'm to the conclusion that the reason that all those games didn't work so well in VR is because there's too much, like, the UI is too complicated for those games. You know what I mean? Like, there's too much, like, fiddling with the menu and, like, going into your items and shit. You know what I mean? I think that's the real drawback, is, like, that's just such a hassle in VR. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I don't know, I just feel like the more simple of a game it is, the better it translates to VR in general. It's less about, like, what the game is and, like, more about, like, the mechanics of the game. Like, I think, like, simple third-person shooters like this, or, like, just third-person games in general, like God of War 2018 would translate really well to VR. Tomb Raider, the rebooted series, would translate really well to VR. I think they need to do more, like, VR third-person games. Like, because Senua was, like, Hellblade was, like, really, really cool in VR. Like, and there's, like, 3 different modes. Like, there's one mode where you play, and it's, like, a VR version of Senua, and she's, like, in front of you, and she's, like, the size of, like, a normal person, like a 3D model running through in VR, and the world around you is about the size it would be normally. And then there's a version you can play where it's, like, you're looking at everything like it's a miniature, like, tabletop version of everything. And, like, her character is, like, this big, you know, and it's, like, running around in the world in front of you, you know what I mean? And then there's, like, a giant version, which is actually not that good. I didn't use the giant one at all, but I switched back and forth between the tabletop and the big one, you know what I mean? Anyways, I can't say no good things about that, so I'll just go on to the next one. But it's one of those games that's like, if you couldn't get into it normally, it's definitely worth checking out in VR because it's just a whole nother experience. And another game like that I just started, like, today, but I haven't really put much into, like, there was, like, an Alien thing happening recently. I don't really know what was going on, but they were celebrating Alien. And Alien Isolation was only $2 on Steam. Well, I knew there was a mod that you could do for, like, a VR mode on Alien Isolation, and I wasn't really too, like, excited about it because I'm thinking, like, it's a mod, it's probably going to be really bad, you know what I mean? But it was only $2, so I was like, fuck it, you know, I'll pick it up. And I bought it, and I installed the mod, and I put it on this morning, and it's, like, really, really impressively good. Like, it's like, incredibly detailed, and, like, it just looks really good. It's, like, so I think that's what I'll be playing as far as my VR thing for the next, like, week or so, you know what I mean? Because that's another one that's just, like, I'm way, way more into it right now because I'm playing it in VR than I would be, you know, otherwise, probably. And, like, just the way the ship moves around you and stuff, you know, like, you played Alien Isolation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, like, the beginning part where you, like, go to that ship and everybody's, like, freaking out, running around the ship or whatever, and, like, the ship's, like, blowing up and, like, shaking around you and stuff, and you're, like, crawling through all the air vents and shit?
Yeah.
That shit is so cool. Like, nothing's really even happened in the game yet, and it's, like, so cool in VR, dude.
I can imagine. Do you feel like Sigourney Weaver?
Dude, I do feel like Sigourney Weaver, even though you're, like, not technically, you're, like, her daughter or whatever. I get that vibe. Like, I get in my character, dude, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
You pop a flare in VR, it's so cool. The, like, little sparks from the flare are, like, flying past your face and shit. It's, like, really cool. Yeah, I've been playing that this morning. And then the last thing I've been playing is Doom Eternal. I was like, fuck it, I got this new monitor. I gotta get something that's gonna look good, you know? And I've been playing Doom Eternal. It's a lot of fun. It's really, really hard. Especially since I'm, like, kind of learning with mouse and keyboard still, you know what I mean? I'm playing on normal, and it's, like, kicking my ass, you know what I mean? But I feel like I'm getting better at, like, the WASD, you know, mouse combo or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Sounds horrible, actually. But, like, I feel that. Yeah.
But I'm having a lot of fun with it, though. And it looks really, really pretty on my new screen, so.
Nice, yeah. Nice. They got that ray tracing in there?
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. but I do have it running at like 2K right now, 75 frames per second. So it's just like
crisp, so crispy. Yeah. Yeah. I've only been playing Call of Duty Warzone, like all week, and that it's just been like so much of that. I've noticed I'm quite alone now at this point. I played a little bit with Aaron, but most people I feel like have already dropped off of the game. Like I don't have like a bunch of people trying to squad up with me or anything at this point. So I'm just doing solos or jumping into some other stuff or like trios and stuff and with filler on.
I like those mode in that game particularly. I don't know. It just feels like that Battle Royale movie from back in the day to me. You know what I mean? When you're playing solos mode.
Oh, yeah. Know. And I feel like I've gotten a lot better. So, like, I mean, but there is one thing about Battle Royale type games is that I feel like you sit down, the first game, you do pretty bad. It's like the warm-up. The second game, you do really good. Third game, you do really good. Fourth game, you do your best. And then from that point on, it's just diminishing returns. Like, you just start slowly getting worse and worse, like, each round.
Kind of like style rapping.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you start losing your juice.
Yeah, you lose your juice. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, It's like, you know, you can sit there and freestyle, but, like, after you freestyle for about, like, 30 minutes, it doesn't matter if you play the best, like, beat in the world. You're not going to be able to freestyle on that same level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how that UFC game is for me, man. Like, my first, 3 games I play, every time I get on that UFC game, I just fucking kick ass. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I always try to play ranked for, my first 3 matches. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I'm good. But then as soon as I start losing, I'll go to the, non-ranked mode. You know what I mean? Because, I just fucking, I don't know. Like you were saying, there's, a little window of time, 30 to 45 minutes. Especially, I don't know if you've noticed this, but, have you ever, played video games when you just, first wake up? Like first thing you do, right out of bed?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I do so much better, when I'm just, first waking up for some reason.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. If it's, an online game, I don't know why.
That's pretty crazy. I've never noticed that about myself. Maybe I don't have that same skill. I'm going to have to check that out. Before we jump into the next part, which is the topic of the show, Brent, I think you should put your headphones in for this part, just because I've noticed, without the headphones, every time I talk, when you're talking, it, makes your voice quit talking for some reason. And we're going to have a lot of back and forth right here, guys. So that's why we're doing this. Today's topic of the show is a versus. We had to come up with games for each other. It's called 2 Games Enter the Gulag, Only One Leaves. So
it's called 2 Games, 1 Cup.
Oh yeah, 2 games, 1 cup. No, so what it is we're pitting 2 games against each other. And the way that I look at it is okay, if you choose one game, the other game ceases to exist. You'll never be able to play it again.
Yeah,
you have to imagine that you lived in a world where you never got to play it. It just never existed, is the way that I want to go about this. It's which game would you be able to live without, and which one would you have to have, in your life. Okay.
This is intense. Yeah, I like this.
Very intense. Okay, so let's start.
You want to kick it off?
Sure. Okay. The one that I was gonna do, I wanted to change. Hold on. Here, you go first, because I'm trying to remember what I was gonna change this to. You go first.
All right, get ready, because so my first one is would you?
Hold on, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, try move your phone to the connection keeps losing. Put
Sorry,
it back up on.
If I go up to my good spot, I'm hooked up to it with a fucking headphones now, so I can't go far away from it.
That's good. That's good right there. Just believe. No, just kidding.
It's not about believing. It's about not moving my head more than 90 degrees in any direction.
It's all right. We'll take the headphones out after this, so.
That's okay. I think I can make this work. Okay. So, can you hear me? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. So my first one is Grand Theft Auto 3 versus Max Payne.
Shit. Okay. When you can't.
Yeah, one of them will die forever. Keep this in mind. You'll never.
And see, the problem with that is that if there's no Grand Theft Auto 3, that means that there's probably no Grand Theft Auto Vice City or San Andreas or 4 or 5,
Oh, see, are we going back in time and killing it and killing everything that spawned because of it?
Yes, that was my whole thing at the beginning whenever I was saying that. I was like, it ceases to exist. It never existed. You never had it as a part of your life, and it never will be. So that's what makes it so intense because.
Oh man, a lot of mine are gonna be kind of paradoxical then, just because without one the other one might exist, but let's just not think about it that way.
Not think about it that way. I'm just talking about from a personal experience, it's like, okay, this one had a big impact on my life, so I can't imagine life without it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what do you think? Because this is a tough one right here.
It really is. Yeah? Both of these games had a huge impact on me as a kid growing up, and I think just for the good of all mankind, I'm going to have to let Grand Theft Auto win this one.
Yeah, I think just to be a responsible gamer, you almost have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no more Max Payne in life. Okay, right. Your turn. I'm going to start this out pretty strong.
All right, lay it on me.
Pokemon or Halo? Just
which one am I saving?
I'm just gonna do it as a franchise in general, on both sides. Just because no matter which one you choose, they're basically the same game in all of their sequels, so.
Yeah, and if you erase the first one from existence, then probably erasing the whole franchise anyway.
Yeah, or it wouldn't come till later.
I gotta save Pokemon, definitely.
Over Halo?
Yeah, easily. For me, but I like Halo and all, but I just don't feel like I don't feel like I feel like we would still have first-person shooters if it wasn't for Halo. You know what I mean? Pokemon is still my point. I don't play Halo still. I play Pokemon still. You know what I mean? So it's
that's true. That's true. Know. Okay, all right. No Halo for you.
Sorry,
all of that blood gulch is gone, dude.
Dang, when you put it that way, that's
your whole childhood is
my whole
erased.
Childhood, dude. Wow, and the fucking
more lock-ins, no LAN parties.
Oh, no more LAN, dude.
None of that shit happened, bro.
Ouch. But also Pokemon, though, there's a lot of battling and trading and.
That's true. That's true. The different parts of childhood.
It's what part of your childhood do you value the most?
Which one do you want erased, bro? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Here you go. Number 4. Now that I'm thinking about it from such an intense perspective, this might be more of an obvious thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna lay it on you anyway. So number 4 is Minecraft versus Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lego Star Wars can go fuck itself. Either way, no matter what way we're looking at this, Minecraft is my shit, bro. I loved Lego Star Wars, but it's nothing compared to what Minecraft is.
Yeah, you got a very good point. Now that I'm reading it back to myself, I'm kind of what was I thinking? I actually had to change my first one because I had way too much Star Wars shit in my fucking thing. I was like,
oh yeah, no, I feel that. Okay, this one's gonna be a tough one, bro.
Okay, lay it on me. Okay. I need a tough one.
Half-Life Alyx versus Persona 5.
Oh my god, why you gotta do it to me like that?
That's how I do it, bro. That's how I do it. One of these will never exist.
Shit, dude. That's real, bro. Fuck. I guess if I had to save one, fuck.
Whatever you say here is going to be on record. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess if I had to save one, I would save Persona 5, probably.
Over Half-Life Alyx?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
you save a flat screen game over your VR.
It's a tough choice, honestly. I don't know. Half-Life has a lot going for it. You know, it's a really good game. It's got a really good ending. It's got a lot going for it. But Persona, you know, you spend like 4 or 5 real world days like playing a game, you know what I mean? Like you just develop like relationships with these characters and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like
I've learned like life lessons from playing Persona. There's like literally like facts and stuff that I know because I played Persona. You know what I mean? I feel like enriched after playing Persona. Whereas Half-Life, it's like, okay, that was a great game, but all I did was shoot monsters for 10 hours. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel, I don't know, like you use more critical thinking skills and like stuff when you're playing Persona, and the story's better. I don't know. It's tough, and there's a lot more gameplay.
I feel that.
It's a hard one, man. I would say Persona, though. Especially if it's Persona R, like Royal. You know what I mean? But
it is what it is.
Persona
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got for me?
All right. No, man. I wish I would have thought of a more tough one. Man, that was a good one. Okay, number 3. Doom Eternal versus Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
I keep Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal?
Yeah, I just had, like, it took, okay, I feel like Jedi Fallen Order was a good game, decent story. Like, it didn't really grab me all that much, but what it had going for it was the difficulty level. But I feel like it was a little bit janky, in that Doom did the same thing, but on a way cleaner level. So, like, it gave me that same feeling of, like, I'm going through this difficult process. But every time I would lose in Jedi Fallen Order, sometimes it would be due to just jankiness, and it wasn't my fault. When Doom does it, like, perfectly. And also, I could really care less about the character. And that's, like, one of the only Star Wars stories where I'm kind of like, the character's all right, I guess. Like, I don't really care, you know? It's just as random. Yeah. It's like if you took Ron Weasley and made him the main character of something. You know, like, here you go. Not because he's a redhead, but because of just, like, the character is just, like, that insignificant. Like, he's more of, like, he seems like he would be a better side character than he would be a main character, in my opinion. But, whatever. Anyways, yeah,
that's interesting. I feel like they're similar games, you know what I mean? But
they're very similar in different ways, though. Like,
yeah, for sure.
But Doom, for me, Doom survives.
Cool. I like that.
Okay, here's another toughie for you.
Oh, God.
I'm keeping these. All of these are super hard. Okay, Mass Effect versus KOTOR.
Oh, God. Fuck, dude.
One ceases to exist.
Okay. This is one of those where it's like if if KOTOR didn't exist, Mass Effect probably never would have existed.
It's paradoxical, but yeah. Just don't look at it that way.
I'm just not going to think about it too hard. But, oh man, shit. I've played both of those games like at least 3 or 4 times each. You know what I mean? Mass Effect is the longer game. It's the better looking game. It's got a more complex story, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's got a better story.
Yeah, you know, and it's also not Star Wars.
It isn't. That's the big thing. It's not Star Wars. I feel like KOTOR, this is just my opinion, But I think KOTOR 1 is the best Star Wars story ever told. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
Just my opinion. You know what I mean? And I think just from that respect, I would have to say KOTOR, just because it, in my opinion, is the best piece of lore that exists in the Star Wars extended universe. But, oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna go with KOTOR. I feel like as far as the gameplay goes, I have just as much fun playing either of them. You know what I mean? As far as almost everything about the games and any aspect is like equal to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just for the sake of like, canon and stuff, I think I'm gonna pick Star Wars.
Mass Effect ceases to exist. All right.
Oof.
What you got for me?
All right. Man, actually, shit, now that I think about it like that, it's like, there's so many good sequels to Mass Effect that come too. And if I kill KOTOR, I'm only killing KOTOR 1 and 2. If I kill Mass Effect, I'm killing Mass Effect 1, 2, 3, Andromeda, and any potential Mass Effects that could come in the future.
Yes, you are.
Fuck, dude. Yeah, I'm still gonna go KOTOR. All right. Man, mine suck. I really should have put more thought into this. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
All right, yours are so good. Thought-provoking. All right, my number 2 for you. I got The Last of Us versus the Tomb Raider reboot they did.
Oh, the Last of Us survives no matter what in that situation. Like, The Last of Us story is just way better. It's a way better feeling game, in my opinion. Like, I like Tomb Raider, like, reboot, but I never beat it. Like, I played it, and I just kind of got bored halfway through it. Like,
the first Tomb Raider reboot?
Yeah. Not that it was a bad game. I just got bored with the gameplay. Like, it just felt like... I'm not a huge fan of, like, action, games where it's just, like, a third-person action game with, like, a shit ton of stealth, except for The Last of Us. The Last of Us was, like, the only game like that could hold me through the whole thing. I enjoyed every bit of it.
I'm generally pretty lukewarm about those kind of games. I really like both of The Last of Us and the Tomb Raider reboot, but, like, for the most part, I'm with you on that. Although I feel like after playing Senua's Sacrifice, I feel like if we just did all these games over again in VR, it would be sick.
They could be good.
Yeah.
No. All right, here comes another heavy hitter.
I don't know if I can take another one.
God of War 2019 versus Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, fuck. I think I'm going to keep God of War 2018. Okay. I think God of War 2018 is the best game I've ever played, probably. It's really good. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is definitely up there, but I think God of War edges it out. Because, like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a longer game, And I think that's mainly what it's got going for it, is that it's longer. But as far as, like, the character development and, like, the graphics and stuff, like,
story.
Characters are about even on both games. Story is better, in my opinion, in God of War. That's really subjective, though, because Red Dead Redemption 2 has an amazing story. And, that's just my opinion. I really like God of War's story, too. I like how they tied the old shit with the new shit and how they, like, I don't know. I just really love God of War 2018. And the graphics, I think, may be the best I've ever seen in a video game, like, with God of War. Red Dead 2 is really good, also. I mean, I don't know. But I think God of War takes it by just, like, that much.
Very small amount. Goodbye, Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right. So the last one for me, for you, is, again, not nearly as hard-hitting, but interesting nonetheless. Would you keep Spider-Man for PS1 or Spider-Man for original Xbox?
Man, that is a tough one. I would probably keep the Spider-Man for original Xbox, just because Green
Goblin.
Yeah, Green Goblin. It It was basically the one for PlayStation, but just better looking. Like it had like that same feel to it, where it was still limited to like you can only use your webs don't actually stick to anything. Like it still had that like arcade feel to it, but it was just on a better console.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough for me because I feel like the PS1 Spider-Man had like a cool original story to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
despite
Stan
being
Lee
like
talking at the beginning and everything, but but you had but in the Xbox game you had Tobey Maguire talking.
Oh shit, yeah. And the original Xbox Spider-Man, like the graphics were like, whoa.
At the time. Yeah, they were beautiful, dude. Most Xbox games were at that time,
Yeah, for sure.
So I have one last one for you, and then I have a bonus one for you.
Oh, okay. I like it. Yes.
Last one. Super Mario 64.
Oh.
Versus Super Smash Brothers 64.
Oh, fuck. I think I would keep Smash Bros.
Over Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah, too much of my soul is tied up in Smash Bros. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I figured it would come down to that. I almost put The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time as the opposing to Super Mario 64, but I was like, I think he liked Majora's Mask more. I couldn't remember which one, so I just went with Super Smash Bros. So
yeah, I did like Majora's Mask more.
The bonus question, though. This is not a game more than it is a platform. PSVR versus Oculus Quest.
Which one? I'm going to save the Oculus Quest for sure.
Okay. I just had to find out.
It's a toughie, PSVR was like, there for me whenever I needed a cheap VR headset.
Yeah.
And it was good, But now I'm over here playing like Alien Isolation in VR and shit. I mean, like the possibilities are so much more endless with the Oculus Quest. It's not even like, oh, the games look so much better, or oh, this or that. It's just like you can do so much more. You know what I mean? And you can do it wirelessly. Like the fact that you don't have a wire on, you can just sit in a spinny chair like this and just rotate. Like it's fucking sick. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's a lot going for it.
I do like spinning in chairs. So that's it for the topic of the show, everybody. If you want to challenge us to some Gulag questions, then drop it in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak podcast, or anywhere else that we're at, and we'll respond and talk with you and give our thoughts. Anyways, so let's jump on over to the People's Champ. Brent, you got all the questions over there on the Book of Face. So let me know what the questions are, or what the question is.
Yeah, sorry, give me just 1 second. I had to get my computer back on the internet because I was trying to cut down on the bandwidth or whatever.
I understand that.
Hold up. All right, we got 3 questions. Let's see who's the champ. Fuck, man. I don't know. Do we have any Instagram questions?
No, we don't.
Okay.
I forgot to ask until I asked literally 30 minutes before this, so.
All right, I'm going to make Giselle the champ, even though I don't have any fucking clue what his question's about. Giselle says, what do you think about the concept?
About the what concept?
Ninjala.
Okay, so he says, what do we think about the Ninjala concept? Well, Brent, your connection is getting lost there. I think it's because you turned your internet connection back on. Now that you have that page brought up, just cut the internet off of it. But anyways, Ninjala is a free-to-play multiplayer game on the Switch that right now is going through its beta phase. So you can only play at certain times of the day right now. So I haven't been able to play it. but it's basically like just like a multiplayer action game where you play as like a ninja of some sort. Like you pick like your ninja and then you fight like other people and stuff.
Does it look fun?
It does. I mean, it looks interesting. I downloaded it. I just haven't got to play it yet.
I will also download it, and I will find out what all the hype, what all the hubbub is about, and we'll get back to you about that, Giselle.
Yeah, let me see. I just want to read the description of it real quick. It says, Ninjala is an upcoming free-to-play multiplayer action video game developed by Gung Ho Online Entertainment. It is a battle game featuring ninja and gum. Use ninja gum to harness your shinobi powers and wield a variety of actions and weapons, I guess. I don't know how that's gonna work. It's weird. It's very strange. But
did you say ninja gum?
Yeah.
Like
it's
like
it's sticky gum. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Just look it up. It's crazy. But anyways, what were the other questions?
All right, we got Charles Chastain here. He says, Brent, what are you going to do with all that junk? I'm going to get you crunk. Get you love drunk off my humps.
Ooh, that's sexual.
Yeah. So we got Aaron Jones here. He says, will you ever return to the real world or continue playing in this one? We keep getting these existential questions from, I don't even know if you could call this a question. Yeah, I guess it is a question. We keep getting these existential questions from Aaron every week, and
well, I think this is a continuation of the he's actually someone on the outside of the simulation trying to.
He's my mom trying to get me to come to dinner. Get off that game.
Yeah,
you've been in there for days.
No, it is pretty funny that one day you will wake up and realize this was all simulation. But until then, anyways, so that's it. That's all the questions, right?
That's all the questions. That's it. That's all we got.
It's all right. It's all right. We didn't ask early. Well, I didn't ask early enough on Instagram. Normally, we have some over there.
Maybe I thought you guys liked us. Why y'all doing this? You know,
it's all good. Hey, it's just everybody's in the quarantine right now. Everybody's kind of focused on the pandemic at the moment. Loss of money and jobs.
It's not all good, dude.
Yeah, it's not all good.
If you're listening on the live stream right now, it's not all good. No, I'm just kidding.
We're angry.
It's all good though. It's just kidding.
Anyways, well, let's wrap up the show with Brent's
super hardcore video game trivia challenge. These are 5 questions that are like really, really cool. Like really cool. Today's topic is too cool for school.
Okay, that's a very specific thing. I don't know what that means.
I don't. I'm just going with what I got here. All right, number 1. These are multiple choice questions, by the way.
Okay.
This game, published by Rockstar Games, was banned in Brazil from 2008 to 2016 after a judge ruled it based on psychological findings by the state Basically, it was banned from 2008 to 2016 in Brazil. Is it A, Bully? Is it B, The Warriors? Is it C, Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Or is it D, Manhunt?
I'm going to say D, Manhunt.
No,
it's
A,
Bully, isn't it?
It was A, Bully, yeah.
I knew
was hoping
one or the other.
Too cool for school, you know?
Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot.
No, it's okay. All right. We're moving on. Question number 2. You'll know this one for sure. Okay. In the PlayStation 2 game High School Musical, Sing It, you can play through the events of the first High School Musical movie from the perspective of which of the following characters? A, Gabriella. B, Kelsey. C, Taylor. Or D, Troy.
2 of those are actual characters. How am I supposed to know which one you play as in the game?
They're all actual characters.
Oh, I guess that is true. But the other 2 aren't main characters.
Right, but which one do you play as in the PlayStation 2 game, High School Musical Sing It?
I mean, if I'm basing it off of the movie, then it would have to either be Troy or Gabriella. But I don't know. In the game, is it Troy?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually Kelsey.
Who the fuck is Kelsey?
I don't know. Maybe Kelsey got made up for the game.
Yeah, Kelsey's not in the movie.
Well, she is the person you play as.
That's some bullshit, bro.
In the game. I'm sorry. I thought you were up to date on your High School Musical video games.
We are not all in this together, dude.
Dude, I guess not. I'm sorry. Okay, here's one you'll for sure know. No, I'm just
Sweet. I'm sure I will.
All right. St. Sybil High School is a Catholic school. From which of the following popular horror games? Is it A, Silent Hill 2, B, Resident Evil 3, C, Outlast 2, D, Five Nights at Freddy's? Don't feel bad if you get this wrong, because I honestly forgot the answer until I just looked at it. So,
what's the high school called?
St. Sybil High School. It's a Catholic school.
Silent Hill?
Oh, no. Sorry. It's Outlast 2.
Really?
Yeah, you remember that part in Outlast 2 where you're going through the creepy
Oh my god,
school?
I forgot about that. Yeah, with like that chick is like running through and she's like pregnant or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the creepiest part of Outlast 2 in my opinion. When you're like in that.
I completely forgot about that.
Something about schools just creeps me out, man. All right, number 4 is a true or false question. True or false? The elementary school you visit in Fear 2 Project Origins is called Wade Elementary School.
True.
There you go. You got it. Bada boom. Winning big. Winning big over here. All right, number 5. Ryan the Lion Preparatory Academy was a preschool and daycare center located in Fontaine Houseware's building of Rapture. The facility was filled with propaganda to indoctrinate children to Andrew Ryan's objectionist philosophies. It has advertisements and educational videos featuring mascots Ryan the Lion and Peter the Blank. This is a BioShock thing.
And what's the place called?
It is Ryan the Lion's Preparatory Academy. The mascots are Ryan the Lion and Peter the Blank. It is either A, Peter the Panther, B, Peter the Parrot, C, Peter the Panda, or D, Peter the Parasite.
Peter the Panther?
Sorry, you're breaking up. I don't know if you said the right answer or not.
Is it Peter the Panther?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was D, Peter the Parasite.
Okay. Well, I did wonderful today.
That's okay.
So bad. It's all right. It's all right. Next time, I'll have you. That's my.
I'm thinking. Wait, what?
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 It's just the whole show. Just what?
No, what were you gonna say though?
I was just thinking. I think at some point in the near future, I might switch up the segment at the end and make it something different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm feeling like mixing things up again. So I don't know. You know, just be in for a surprise one of these weeks. It might change on you.
Yeah, we need a new season of that.
Yeah. I think it's about time.
Well, remember, guys, you've been listening to GameSpeak Podcast, courtesy of CreateForSanity.com. The show posts for free every Wednesday on all podcast directories. Be sure to submit any questions you want read on the show to the GameSpeak Podcast Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast. Check out our video content on youtube.com/CreateForSanity. And if you want to stay up to date with your boys, you can find me on Twitter at the handle AlJafarJamel and Brent at BrentHas1, and that's the number 1. And check out the GameSpeak Podcast Instagram. Until next time, listeners, later.